What is going on, people of the SmartHouse Society? Matt here from mksmarthouse.com, and in this video we're going to be covering the software for, in my opinion, one of the most important smart home devices, the fire sensor. So what's new in this firmware? Well, to start off, there is now support for Home Assistant. I won't be covering that in this video, but I will be in the future. But if you want to use your fire sensor now with Home Assistant, I'll leave the item config in the description below. What's also new is I have support for mqtt authentication. So those of you that have mqtt servers that use a username and password, you can now use the device with it. Another thing is you set it all up from your phone. So you no longer have to flash it with the Arduino IDE or any of that. You literally just pop open your phone, connect it to Wi-Fi, and then you can set up this entire device. So it's a super easy process to set it up now. And lastly, there is now a status portal. So if you type in either the IP address of the device or its hostname.local, it'll see you all of its information, its MQT topics, how to update the firmware, its status, IP address, a bunch of information. That's another new feature. As you may have noticed, this fire sensor is using a custom PCB that designed. And recently, I've been getting my PCBs from PCBWAY. PCBWAY has been in business for a long time and is a full-feature custom PCB prototype service that makes high-quality PCBs. They also do SMD stencil and PCB assembly, which other PCB companies do not offer. PCBWAY has the best value, fast turnarounds, on-time worldwide shipping, and low minimums. Speaking of low minimums, you can get 10 PCBs for $5. The link to PCBWAY will be at the top of the description. So what is the fire sensor exactly? Well, it's a device that I created, which you connect this red and white wire to your normal fire detectors, and then it connects to this device, which you also connect to power. But what it all completely does is it sends you a notification to your phone when the fire detectors go off. A great use case of this device is you're sitting at work and then all of a sudden you get a notification on your phone saying fire detected at home. Then you know something's up. Maybe there's a kitchen fire, maybe there's something else that caught fire. But point is, you know that there's a fire at your home. So you can call the authorities, tell them to come check it out. You can, if you have a neighbor that you know, they can come check it out for you. Basically, you'll know if there's a fire at home, and so you can possibly minimize the damage at your home because you knew the fire when the fire happened right away. So here's a demo of it in action. I'm going to press the circle button on the fire detector to simulate that there's a fire. And as you can see on my phone, there's a notification saying fire detected. Now if we open up OpenHAB, you can also see its status there. So if it says no fire detected or fire detected. Just like this fire sensor, all the devices on mksmarthouse.com/shop are now pre-flashed. So if you purchase a DIY kit or assembled, they will all be flashed with firmware. So that way when you get it or put it together, all you have to do is pop open your phone, go to Wi-Fi, and set it all up. Just so that way it's a little bit easier for you guys. Now to celebrate this great achievement in making simplicity for everyone, because smart homes, they were complicated, but slowly we're all making them easier, you can use coupon code V2 to get 10% off your entire order. So go to mksmarthouse.com/shop, use the coupon code V2, and save 10% off your order at checkout. The requirements to get the software for the fire sensor up and running is you're going to need a fully set up server with mqtt and OpenHAB or Home Assistant. You're also going to need a Mac computer or a Windows computer. Then lastly, if you have a device with either V1 firmware or with no firmware at all, you're going to need an Arduino with jumper cables. Links to all the parts and tools will be in the description. Also in the description, follow at MK-SmartHouse on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, because those are the places where I give you guys sneak peeks on stuff and stuff that only a true smart house enthusiast would enjoy, like these cameras or that wall-mounted device over there. If you bought a DIY kit or assembled device that already has the firmware pre-flashed, then go ahead and skip to the timestamp on the screen now. If you have V1 firmware or no firmware on your device, then keep watching the video. The first step is to download the firmware version 2. I'll leave a link in the description to the fire sensor guide. Then you want to click on the links tab. After that, scroll down to MK Fire Sensor V2 firmware. Enter your email address and then click download file. The reason I ask for your email address is so that way in the future if I release a new firmware, then I can go ahead and let you know. Next, click here to go to download page and click on the green download button. And it will start downloading. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and upgrade the device from firmware version 1 to firmware version 2. Now these steps can be applied for any other firmware that I release in the future. So what we're going to want to go to the host name of the device. Now this host name is what you declared if you were coming from version 1. This is what you declared in the Arduino file. Or you can use its IP address. I'm going to use mk-firesensor1.local. So you want to go to its hostname.local. So .local/firmware. And then click enter. And it should prompt you for a username and password. So you want to type in the username and password that you put into the device when you set it up through the Arduino file. So if you set it up through your Arduino file, you manually declared this. So I'm going to type in my username and password and click sign in. Alright, so as you can see, it brought the firmware update page. So now we're going to want to go to choose file. Then we're going to go to our downloads folder and click on the mk-firesensor v2.ini bin file. Click open and then click update. As you can see, it is trying to update, connecting, and now it is uploading the new firmware. Now we wait. Alright, as you can see, it went to 93, and now it's rebooting the device. Since we already have the V2 firmware, we want to download the program that will directly flash the device. So go back to the links page and click on the Pi Flasher. It will bring up this page. Click on the file that corresponds to the operating system you're running. If you're running 64-bit Windows, download the 64.exe, 32-bit Windows, 86.exe. If you're on a Mac, then download the DMG file. Since I'm on a Mac, I will download the DMG file. Then go over to your Finder, go to your Downloads folder, and double click on the program and go through the entire installation process. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to go ahead and do it again. Now to open up the program, go ahead and head over to your Launchpad and go over to the Node MCU Pi Flasher. Click on that. And it will bring up the program. Alright, so let's take a look at the software. So the first part is the serial port. What you want to do is remember what options are here. And then now we're going to connect the fire sensor to the Arduino. Alright, so now we're going to connect the fire sensor to the Arduino. The first thing we want to do is take a jumper and jump it from reset to ground. And this bypasses the onboard chip and turns the Arduino into a serial converter. Next, we're going to take this red and brown wire and connect the RX and TX pins. So right now red is TX, so I'm going to connect it to the TX pin on the fire sensor and connect the brown one to the RX pin like that. And now I'm going to take this white cable, and this is going to be the ground cable, so I'm going to plug it in on the ground on the Arduino and the ground on the fire sensor. Now we're going to take this last orange cable and plug it into the 5-volt pin on the Arduino and the 5-volt pin on the fire sensor. Like that. So all of these are connected and all of these. There you go. As a reference. And you also want to make sure that the jumper pin is over PGM and not run. Again, I repeat, PGM or program. Now we're going to take it, and I already have the other end of the cable connected to the computer, and plug it in like that. And just so you know that I'm not kidding, it is plugged into the computer over there. Now that the Arduino with the fire sensor is connected to the computer, hit this refresh button over here, and in the drop down you should see a new option. So click on that one. Then in the Node MCU firmware, click the browse button, go to your downloads folder, and click on the fire sensor firmware. Then click open. In the next section, this is the baud rate. Make sure it's at 115200. Next is the flash mode. Make sure it's at dual IO. Erase flash, click yes, wipe all data. And lastly, just click flash node MCU. It's going to go through. First, now it's erasing the flash on the device, so whatever firmware was previously on there. And now it's flashing the no firmware on it. Alright, once the program is done flashing, you can go ahead and close out the program. I've done that already. And then unplug the USB cable from your computer, and then disconnect all of the jumper cables from your fire sensor from the Arduino. And then you can move the jumper from PGM right here to run. If you're a smart home enthusiast like me and want to show that you're an elite member of the smart home community, then check out smarthoussociety.com. If you want to support my channel, then check out the link in the description and grab yourself a premium quality hoodie, shirt, or hat. Alright guys, I forgot to mention in the video, this Saturday, October 6th, I will be holding a live stream here on YouTube. So keep your guys' eyes open for my YouTube live stream notification. I'm thinking maybe around 3-4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, October 6th. We'll probably be talking about some new Amazon devices that they released, any smart home news I find, any problems you guys are having, some things that I'm working on that are secret, any questions you guys have. Overall, we're just gonna have a nice relaxing time talking about smart home stuff. So I want to see you there Saturday, October 6th. Check it out. First, you're gonna want to make sure that the jumper is over run. As you can see, I have it over RUN run. This is what's gonna put the device in the running state so you can set it up. Next, take the USB cable from the device and plug it into some type of USB port. This can either be a charging brick from your phone, or I'm just going to use the USB port on my computer for right now. There we go. The red light came on, so the device is powered on. Next, you want to grab a mobile device of some sort. This can either be an iPhone or an Android device. It doesn't matter. And then you want to go into Settings and click on Wi-Fi. You should see the fire sensor Wi-Fi network. Go ahead and click on it. Alright, once it's connected, it will bring up the configuration portal. Let me give you a little bit of information what's in the configuration portal. So the first one is configure Wi-Fi. This is what we're going to use to set up the device, but for now we're going to keep going through the menus. The second one is configure Wi-Fi no scan. So this is good for if you have a hidden Wi-Fi network, so you can't see the Wi-Fi network. And in this one, you would manually type in your SSID and password. Next is info, and this just shows you some information about your device, the flash ID, chip ID, MAC address, bunch of things. Maybe you'll use it, maybe you won't. For what I do, I don't need it. And then the last button is reset. What this does is a power cycle of the device. So it turns the device on and turns the device off and turns it back on. But let's go ahead and click configure Wi-Fi since I don't have a hidden Wi-Fi network. All right. And remember, these devices, the ESP devices, they use 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, not 5 gigahertz. So choose your 2.4 gigahertz. All right, so I see my network right here, K Wi-Fi. I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to type in my password, which if I do the video correctly, you shouldn't be able to see because it's being blurred. My password is in. And it says select your Wi-Fi network, type in your password. If you don't see your Wi-Fi, then scroll down to the bottom and press scan. That is correct. So if you don't see your Wi-Fi networks in this area right here, then you want to scroll down all the way to the bottom and click this blue scan button right here. But I saw my Wi-Fi network and I typed in the password. Okay, so the next section is hostname / mqtt ID. So this is what you're going to use to name the device. So this is how you'll see it on your network, and also its device ID from the MQTT side. So I'm going to go ahead and name mine MK-Fire Sensor 1. You can name yours the same thing if you want to follow along the video and make sure you get everything good. Alright, so the next section is MQTT. The first field is the server IP address. So this is the IP address of your MQTT server / OpenHAB server / Home Assistant server, whatever you have set up. So mine is 192.168.0.4. The next field is the port. If you have a default port, then just keep it at 1883. If you have something custom, go ahead and change it. If you have it custom, you would know. So the next field is MQTT out topic. And what this is the field or topic which the device will send the state of the fire detector to. So it'll send the no fire detected or fire detected. I'm going to make my MQTT topic MK-SmartHouse / utilities / MK-fire sensor 1. Easy. Alright, and then the next one where it says false. This is what declares if you want to enable authentication or not. Now, this authentication is for MQTT authentication. So if your server uses a username and password in order to use it for communication, then you would change this false to true and type in your MQTT username and password. Mine is not protected, it's just a basic setup, so I'm going to keep it at false. The next section is the web updater / access portal. So what this is a portal so that way you can see all the different status of your device, all the different topics it has, how to update it, and all of that. And I made that protected so that way not anybody can see it. So I'm going to make my username admin, and then I'm going to make my password admin. Obviously, this is going to be changed after the video is over. But once everything is in, click save. And if everything goes well, then this should disappear, and then the Wi-Fi network should disappear from your options to select. If it doesn't disappear, then that means something went wrong, so go ahead and try to set it up again. But boom, there we go, it disappeared, it's no longer there. So it's all set up. Now let's go ahead and connect it to OpenHAB. Now we're going to see if the device is connected to MQTT and can see its statuses. So to do this, we're going to use a program called mqtt.fx. And if you don't have this program, then check out my home automation server setup guide where I show you how mqtt.fx works and how to set it up. So I have mine in my launchpad and launch it right here. The program is now loaded up. I'm going to connect to my MQTT server, go to subscribe, type in the pound symbol here, and press subscribe. Now in order to test the device while it's not connected to an actual fire detector, you can connect it to a 9-volt battery. So the red is plus and the white is minus. And as you can see, when I connect it to a 9-volt battery, it says fire detected, and when I take away the 9-volt battery, it says no fire detected. Great, now it works. So we can go ahead and disconnect and close down mqtt.fx. Now we're going to modify OpenHAB and connect it to OpenHAB. So we're going to launch terminal. If you're on Windows, you would use PuTTY. And then we're going to SSH into our OpenHAB server. Now to make it easier for you, I have put all the commands and all of the text and all the code on my website. The link is in the description. This software page right here, and scroll down. And there you go. You can see everything in yellow is what we will be typing into the SSH window. So the first one is sudo nano /etc /openhab2 /items /home.items because we're going to create the fire sensor item. Type in our admin password. This is my items file, and as you can see right here, I have already added the fire sensor. But let me explain what all of these things in the fire sensor mean. So the first part is a string because this item is a string type. It says fire detected or no fire detected. This is the item name, so how we will be referring to it in the sitemap file and the rules file. Next is the text. This is what will show up in the sitemap. This is the icon, so the icon next to the item in the sitemap. And then finally is the MQTT binding config. So we're using the MQTT binding, we are receiving a message from the MQTT device. We are connecting to our broker because that's what we named the MQTT broker when we set up the OpenHAB server. And then finally, the topic that OpenHAB will be listening to from the fire sensor. All right, now press Control X, Y, and enter. Oh, I didn't make any modifications, so I didn't need to type in Y. But as you can see right here, you would have typed in the / fire sensors, and then here is the item that you would have copied. Alrighty. So next we're going to edit our sitemap file. So type in sudo nano /etc/openhab2/sitemap/home.sitemap. Press enter. This is my sitemap, and I have put the fire sensor right here in a frame labeled fire detectors. So if we go back, we put this off to the side. You want to copy this entire frame and paste it into your sitemap. I put mine right under outside right here. So what this does is going to name the frame fire detectors, and then it's going to import our fire sensor item, which is a text item because it does string. Right there. Cool. Now press Control X. Since you made modification, you'd press Y and enter. And then finally, we're going to make the OpenHAB send us a notification when the fire detector goes off and when it says fire detected. So we're going to do this in our rules file. So type in sudo nano /etc/openhab2/rules/home.rules. Press enter. This is my personal rules file. We're going to scroll down to where I have the fire sensor. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy this entire thing right here and then paste it into your rules file right here. You can put this all the way at the bottom if you want. And so what this rule does, it's called fire sensor. When the fire sensor receives an update, it checks for if the state is fire detected. Then it'll send a notification to all the devices connected to my OpenHAB saying fire detector's house fire detector activated. Cool. All right, now press Control X, then Y, and enter. And let's go ahead and open up our sitemap so we can see how the fire sensor looks. All right, then we're going to go into our basic UI, and where's the fire detectors? Oh, here it goes. Here it is. It says house and no fire detected. Now I'm going to touch the fire sensor to the 9-volt battery again, and as you can see, it says fire detected. And as you can see on my phone, here I'll pull it up on OBS for you guys. As you can see, I got these notifications: fire detected, house fire activated, house fire detector activated. Cool, so it all works. Now I'm going to show you guys the portal that each device has. So type in http:// the host name of your device. So mine is mk-firesensor1, and then you want to say .local. So the host name, http:// the host name of your device, .local, and press enter. Now normally it will ask you for the username and password, and this is the username and password we typed in when we were setting up the device through our phone, but I already accessed this page, so I don't need to type it in. Let's go over what's in here. The first one is the host name of the device. So this is mk-firesensor1. Next is the MQTT server it's connected to. Then it's the port it's using, whether there's authentication or not, and the topic it sends its statuses to. And then lastly, how to update the firmware. So you would copy this link, open up a new tab, paste it in, and press enter. If you want to know how to use this, go back in the video and look at the part where I showed how to upgrade from version 1 to version 2 firmware. You would apply the same concept to any future versions I make, if any. Alright guys, so to reset the device, what you want to do is unplug the device, then plug it back in, and when you plug it back in, quickly move the jumper from run to program, wait 10 seconds, so 1, 2, 3, 10, and then you want to move the jumper back to run and unplug the device and plug it back in. and then it should go into programming mode, where you can set it up on your phone. That concludes this complete guide to the fire sensor. In the description, you will find links to all the parts and tools used in the video, as well as a link to mksmarthouse.com/shop, where I have a wide range of smart home devices and kits that you can put together. Alright, if you found this video helpful, click that like button, and if you are a smart home enthusiast like me, then you belong on this channel, so hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below, or head over to mksmarthouse.com/forum. Goodbye. No.